Hi Marcus, my name's Evan. I'll be your counselor. So I'm happy to see you here today. I heard you've got a couple of concerns you wanted to address. So at this time, you want to just tell me a little bit why you're here and what you're looking to get out of these sessions.
Well, first, I'm not here because I want to be here. It's mandatory for me to get back on the job and be cleared. So, I'm just doing this so that I can get back on my job and continue to do it. But as far as what's bringing me here, my jobs, and I know even for myself that I have to kind of work on my anger. I have a lot of anger within me, and I don't know what to do with it. It's really bearing down on me really hard.
Okay, so from your job, you said?
From my job.
Okay, so you're feeling a lot of anger and frustration. Can you speak more on what the source of that frustration might be from?
Well, the source is my partner. My partner, Mike, he is just a reckless dude. He just doesn't think. He always goes in, guns blazing. I work as a detective for the Miami PD, and he's a detective as well. We've been partners for about 15 years, and during that time, he has not changed. He's still impulsive, egotistical, and he just, again, most recently, we were in a shootout. We were undercover, and then our cover was blown, and so, we had to, take drastic measures, and during that time, I got in the crosshairs of his gun because he wasn't paying attention, and he shot me.
And you're fine, obviously, so it wasn't anything super serious. You weren't near death, I'm hoping.
Well, the thing is, of all the places that he could have shot me, he shot me in the butt. Of all places. That is embarrassing. I'm glad I didn't get a fatal wound or anything, because I can still be with my family. That's most important. But because of him, I have a medical issue where, there's certain things that I can't do with my wife. And that has really got me frustrated.
And by medical issues with your wife, are you speaking more on the intimate side of things?
Yes.
Okay.
I love my baby. We've been together for a long time. We were high school sweethearts, and we just been together for a long time, and I want to be able to make love to my baby, and I can't. And that messes with a man's ego, with who I am as a man.
So is it the thought of the shootout that is getting in the way, or is it feelings towards your partner, or how would you describe what do you feel when these problems arise with your intimacy?
It's just the anger of my partner in the situation, him just, again, going back to his just no thought for anybody else. He just goes in and starts doing stuff, and it makes a situation that's already volatile even worse. And for my trouble, I get shot for it. And I think about that situation, probably not when I'm supposed to with my wife. I want to focus on her, but at the same time, that's something that is still messing with me because haven't been back to work yet.
So your feelings are more towards him, and that's kind of the conflicting thing. You're having trouble feeling intimacy because you are a little hung up on this anger towards Mike.
Yeah, definitely. I don't know. It's just I'm just tired of seeing him. I don't even know if I want to even be his partner anymore. You know, I just think I need a break, just a change or something to kind of just get me out of this anger. I don't know.
Well, you guys said you said that you guys have been partners for 15 years.
Yes.
Have your feelings toward him always been this way?
It hasn't always been this way. You know, going through the police academy together, we hit it off right away. You know, we were both joking around. He got my humor, you know, I got his, and we just really bonded, you know. And, you know, some of his things that he does, you know, it was when you're young, it's okay. But now that we're older, like, I feel that he is still immature. He's not, you know, evolving into, you know, somebody that, you know, who's responsible. He's still a bit irresponsible.
So over those 15 years, you feel like you've developed yourself from more of a young man to an adult, a responsible adult, and he's kind of stayed the same, where he just jokes around, kids around, and doesn't take much seriously.
Yeah. And also too, like, I don't even understand, he just continues to womanize. He has so many different women that's around him, and, you know, he goes off with different dates. Every time I see him, a different girl. And, you know, for me, I'm a family man. You know, I love my children. I love my wife. You know, they mean everything to me. And, you know, looking at him, I don't know. I just feel, I despise that. I really do, about him, that he hasn't, at this point in time, you know, settled down a little bit.
So let's talk more about your family then. So you said you have your wife and your kids. How many kids do you have?
I have 3 kids.
Okay.
Beautiful babies.
How old are they? They're pretty young?
They're like 10, 12, and 6-year-old.
Okay. So you go right in the middle. That they're all going through school and all that. Okay. What about your family? Like your family when you grew up, were you an only child? Did you have both parents in the home? What did that look like for you?
Yeah, we definitely had both parents in the home. I'm the oldest. I have 2 younger sisters. Speaking of younger sister, I'm really kind of upset at her. And going back to my partner, he and her went behind my back and started dating. So that really upsets me, because, you know, I'm her protector and she needs protecting from him.
Now, when you say she needs protecting, how is she still like 16, 20? How old is?
She's in her late 20s.
Okay, so she's an adult, but you still feel she needs to be looked over by her big brother.
She does. That's what I do. I've always taken care of her. Anytime that she, you know, went out on dates growing up, you know, I was always checking and making sure, you know, it wasn't any knuckleheads that she was talking to. And if she was, then I would beat them up, or, you know, tell Dad, and he'd handle the rest. But I do need to protect her from Mike, because, like I said, he has philandering ways. He's always with different women, and he's gonna break my little sister's heart, and I just can't bear it.
So is Mike any different from the guy she dated in the past that you've been worried about?
He has money, and that's one thing that's going for him. Like, I know that she would, you know, be taken care of in that way. I just don't trust him being with one person, and that's my bone to pick with him.
And you've never seen Mike with just one person for any long period of time?
Not at all. If he make it a week, I'll be surprised.
Gotcha. So your main concern is just he's never really shown you he can man up and be monogamous, so you have a lot of doubts. So you obviously, as a protective older brother, you worry about your sister in that way.
Yes. definitely do. And, you know, I just don't want her to be hurt. And that's really gonna, challenge our, partnership and friendship. And it's challenging already, but if that happens, it's gonna be a ordeal.
So you feel like it's almost a stab in the back that was he going behind your back? How did you find out about them seeing each other?
I overheard a conversation with them. I have, you know, sometimes get-togethers at my house, and, you know, I was coming in from, you know, barbecuing, putting the meat on the table so I can cut it. And, you know, I went to the bathroom, and as I was walking toward that area, that's when I overheard them whispering, and, you know, I went and confronted them. Like, I'm like, what's going on? You know, they were too close, and I just had it, and I just blew up.
So you overheard them. They didn't find like it was the right time to tell you yet? Or do you think they ever would have told you? Or do you think they would have just kept doing it behind your back? How do you feel about all of it?
I don't think they would have told me. I think that they will continue to go behind my back. And that's the thing. Two people that are close to me would do something and not, you know, let me know what's going on.
Now, why do you think they would want to go behind your back? Do you feel like they felt like they needed to, based on how you might take it?
Well, you know, they should know that I would not have blessed that. I would not at all, because I know how my partner is, and, you know, the way that he's with women is just messed up, and I don't want that for my sister. And again, she knows she's even seen him with different women and stuff. So I'm like, why would you even want to go down that path?
Now, is she someone that you've seen in the past put up with stuff like that? Is she someone that puts up with guys that can't stay faithful to her? Or has she cut it off in the past with guys that couldn't be a one-woman man?
I would say she has good sense to not be with those kind of people. Like, if she gets in a situation, I remember in the past where she was in a situation in college, and she, you know, got rid of them, and, you know, I asked her, did I need to come down there, and she said she handled it, but I let her handle it, but I still ran him, and luckily he didn't have a record, but he was still someone that was not treating her well.
So she hasn't had the best choice of guys, but she also has shown you that she's capable of seeing them for the bad sides as well.
Generally.
Okay. So do you think she's just not seeing what you see with Mike, or what do you think is different here, that she has this general judgment like you're saying, but she's not dismissing Mike for those same reasons?
I'm not sure what she is seeing in him. Like, you know, he, you know, to the outside, he will probably be seen as a handsome man. But, you know, as far as his actions, I don't know. Maybe I don't know. I don't know what good he could be doing with my sister.
It sounds like a lot of this almost ties back to your relationship with your wife, because you're seeing Mike, someone who's hurt you, get to have emotional success with someone you care about, while you're struggling with intimacy with someone that you care about as well. It feels almost unfair that he was the perpetrator of your problems, and then he's also causing or getting to enjoy himself as well.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Like, it's like he just always come out on top. Like, nothing bad happens to Michael Allen, but everything, like, I have to keep the ship together. I have to, you know, make sure everybody is okay. and it's just like he has it so easy. It frustrates me.
So you feel like has his life always been pretty easy in your opinion? Is that what the issue is, that you've always had to really work for what you have and he's just had to hand it to him?
Yeah, he's a silver spoon baby. Like he has a trust fund. His family is rich. You know, he really haven't had to, you know, struggle like my family did. You know, I have both parents and they both worked and they provided for us, but there are some times when we didn't have much for extras. And so, you know, at a young age, I got a job, and so did some of my siblings as well. And so that's how we were able to support ourselves. And him, he just, you know, without cash and a credit card and that's it. You know, he's never had to struggle.
So you feel like because he comes from a different kind of upbringing, he doesn't really understand the value of hard work or really the value of a dollar?
Yeah, that's for sure. And, you know, as far as like just family, you know, he doesn't get the importance of family to me, and me keeping them, you know, secure and me looking out for everyone. That's what I do. Since my father died, I am the person that my family is look up to in those situations.
I gotcha. So let's go back a little bit. You said that he's you know, this very different upbringing as far as financially, and that he never really had to work really hard for, you know, what he has. But let's try and find some common ground between you and Mike. Obviously, you have similar values to some extent because you both became police, right?
True.
So he at least has a similar moral compass in that regard.
You could say that, yeah.
While you might have different relationship trends, he, at least as far as the law and protecting people goes, he shares that interest with you.
Yes.
Okay. I think that might be a good way to start really confronting these troubles you're having with your emotions, is to maybe try and see him from a different angle. You know, see him for some of the good things rather than honing in on what makes you guys so different. Because being different's not always a bad thing. Sometimes, you know, you wouldn't want your wife to also be a man, would you?
No. Hell no.
So there you go. Having differences, you know, in different aspects really come to benefit. So I mean, he might not have had to work incredibly hard, but he may have a lot more networking because of his more financially stable, you know, upbringing. So he might have, you know, something that he can teach you and you can teach him. You can teach him a little bit more about what the values of hard work are, and he can teach you a little bit more about, you know, how to rub elbows with some powerful people and get on the good side of someone who can help you out later.
Yeah. He definitely has connections, I know that. And being that with his family is a big deal. So.
Well, I mean, that's what makes a good partner duo then, I think because you handle more of the hard work, maybe the actual physical parts, where he might know how to smooth talk someone like you've seen with girls, but also in jobs to try and get information and get you out of sticky situations.
That's true. He does have a slick mouth, I can tell you that, and we've come out of some interesting situations together.
He's gotten some bad spots.
He sure has.
So I mean, that's one thing you can look at too, is that, you know, you're upset about this whole shootout thing, but think about if you didn't have Mike, how many more shootouts you may have been in the past if it wasn't for his smooth talking.
Yeah, that's true. It wouldn't have been as interesting too. Like, I don't see myself with any other partner, you know. Like I said, we hit it off as right away. So it's just, you know, maybe it's just needing some space to maybe regroup and trying to find what else we can do, or what else, I don't know.
I think that could be a good thing. We can explore, you know, different ways for you to let these emotions maybe settle. We can either let you step away from work, maybe not necessarily quit, but maybe take a week or two off and just really enjoy some time with just your family and just take your mind off of Mike and really get the freshness of this work-related accident off the mind and really just let it cool down. Because I think maybe you seeing him over and over right after this happened is really just putting salt right back in the wound rather than letting it heal.
Yeah.
So I think that could be a good approach to really mend the bridge between you guys, just to let the wound heal, both
Yeah.
figuratively and literally, and then just see how that helps. Because I think if you want to improve that intimacy with your wife, you might have to first approach how your relationship with Mike is. Because it seems like it's not only, you know, impacting with your wife, but also now with your sister, and it's also just within yourself, not even your relationship with others. It's putting a lot of weight on your mind and your heart because of how you feel about how, you know, you guys have maybe grown apart individually, and while you still love him like a brother, I'm assuming, since, you know, your first day meeting him at the police academy, I'm assuming, but you really want to get back to that friendship and, you know, that unity you had at the beginning. So I think we can really look forward to working on, one, just taking a step back and just cooling down, and then two, maybe moving forward to seeing the good in Mike and working on that image you have of him. Because I think the more you hold all the negative without seeing the positive, it's really preventing other positives in your life. So we'll, through future sessions, we can really start looking forward to different interventions and techniques and strategies that we can do to help you work with your emotions and work through this frustrating situation.
It's definitely frustrating, and I just don't want to keep on holding to these feelings. It's not good for my health, and most of all, I just want to connect back with my baby. I want to, you know, be able to be intimate with my wife, and, you know, just have a better outlook. I don't know, it's just so frustrating right now, and I just really don't know where to go with it.
Absolutely, yeah. Your emphasis on how much you love your family is really touching, honestly. It makes me almost more driven to get us, you know, through all this for you, because I really want you to get back to that whole family dynamic that you were probably enjoying before all this happened.
Yeah, I certainly was.
All right. Well, what we can do is we can go ahead and we can schedule maybe another session for next week, and we can look forward to really tackling more of the complex feelings that you have towards Mike, and maybe just take the time off from seeing him, take the time off of work, and just have some time with your wife. Maybe not necessarily the physical aspects of your relationship has to be what you would approach. Maybe you go on some walks, or you just spend some quality time together in this time to really get Mike out of the brain and get her to the forefront of the brain.
Yeah, I can do that. That sounds like something worthwhile for sure.
Well, excellent. Okay. Well, then I'll pencil you in for next week, and we can talk all about this some more, and we'll see how that time away from Mike works. Okay.
Okay, man. Thanks.
No problem.